Just imagine, Greece has some 1,400 islands, 227 of them are inhabited. But on all 1,400, there are plants rare, unique, and amazing. Endemic plants. My goal is to find these plants and show you the raw beauty of Greek nature. I've got a feeling it's not going to be easy to find the plant I'm really after here. Coming up to Corfu, if I'm honest, I'm probably going to need a couple of months to work my way through this rich nature. To get a sense of the spirit of the ancient myths, my search for the greatest symbol of Greek fauna at this point could be compared to the god Sisyphus, who was forced to roll a great boulder up a hill for eternity. But an old soldier is a wise soldier, as they say, so when I got into town, it was time for a crash course in botany. I wanted to ease myself in and headed to a local market in Corfu first. Let's go, guys, and see what they have here. What is this? Enough said, I've already embarrassed myself among the experts. Not a lot I can do, considering I've only seen an artichoke served up on my plate before and I didn't like it. By the way, its scientific name is Sonara. After a mythical beauty Zeus wanted to make a goddess, she entertained Zeus while his wife was away, but eventually the girl grew weary, and she returned to her mother from Mount Olympus. Zeus felt betrayed, flew into a rage, and turned her into an artichoke. How do they expect me to eat it knowing that? A woman selling seedlings, just like the markets back home. You see a lot of them. This may sound funny, but the variety of fresh fish, octopus, crab, and other gifts Poseidon is offering up, it's almost like I'm walking around some local market in my country. By the way, here they sell seafood along with fruit and vegetables, a sort of local charm. There are a lot of apples here, but none of the varieties I've seen before. You might remember the apple of discord that triggered the Trojan War. Well, it wasn't like this. Most likely, it was more like this. According to legend, a golden apple with a pharos inscribed on it was given by Paris to Aphrodite and was made of pure gold. Not too democratic a fruit to symbolize a whole country. Moreover, apples aren't unique to Greece. They can be grown anywhere. But Greece isn't just about Greek salad or myths. It's also famous for its walnuts. When we visited Kyrgyzia, we found out that Alexander the Great visited Kyrgyzia, took the fruit of this wonderful tree, and brought it to Greece. Since then, this nut has been associated with Greece. Oh, this is a medlar fruit, or malsmoula. Very tasty. By the way, though, the word is of Greek origin. The plant itself comes from Japan. Not too much of a symbol. However, not leaving empty-handed. I had to take advantage of being on TV to get something to eat. It's like a small melon mixed with a beetroot. And this is a truly local Greek product, a wild strawberry. Not a flavorless one for export, but right from the source. Is it wild? Wild.
It is. We picked it this morning.
People here have spent their mornings picking wild strawberries since prehistoric times, even the primordial times. To tell you the truth, this was common right across Europe, from the southern mountains to the northern seas. Everywhere people found wild strawberries, they ate them. Not too sweet. Slightly sour taste. This is a wild Greek strawberry. In Greece, wild strawberries were considered a gift of the gods. And in Greek, this berry is called hamakarasso, which means underfoot, or a poor man's sweet cherry. Though there's a lot of wild strawberries here, and Greece is famous for them, I'm not too eager to call something the Greek were so scornful about the symbol of their country. Aha, here is, dare I say, the national dignity of Greece. As for olive trees, they grow in abundance here, as many as 4 million on Corfu alone. And they produce fruit of various colors: dried olives, green olives, ripe olives, wet olives. Here's another Greek myth for you. The color only depends on their ripeness. Over several millennia, people have invented only three ways to make this fruit edible. Everything else is the result of processing. Salt-cured olives, pickled olives, oil pressed from olives. By the way, olive, or elia, means nothing more than oil. Anointing oil in church or flax oil in construction are two of a kind, so to say. Well, I guess I've had enough rest. It's time for agriculture labor. However, for some reason I can't see any peasants in the field. I mean citrus groves, as what fields can be called here in Greece. Though branches seem to be groaning under the weight of ripe fruit, is anybody going to pick them or not? You know, the Greek attitude to agriculture really appeals to me. Everything is simple. If anything has fallen from a tree, it's a high-yielding year. If nothing has fallen, it's a low-yielding year. So they sit and wait for something to fall from the sky, or rather tree. I couldn't wait, though. I picked a lemon. So fragrant. Sweet smelling, so good. I'll keep that one for myself. These orange trees are by no means a symbol of Greece. First, this tree is not endemic, though it's everywhere around here. Second, the Greeks call it portakalia, perhaps a way to show gratitude by remembering the Portuguese sailors and merchants who brought this fruit here. And there's no myth to go with it. On Corfu, orange trees are abundant. Going to have a try on one of these wild oranges and check whether or not they're worth eating. In fact, it's not an orange, it's some sort of wild mixture of lemon, a tangerine, a grapefruit, and something else. Taking into account this variety of foreign citruses, the food-loving Greeks have invented a lot of amazing ways to turn oranges, tangerines, lemons, and grapefruit into various delicacies. And before I completely ruin my health working in this enlightening field, I really should go taste some very popular kumquat delights. This here is not a Greek plant or a Greek fruit. It's a Chinese kumquat. Almost a century ago, in 1924, Greek businessmen realized that kumquat have profit-making powers. And Kostas.
Welcome.
I'm also Kostas. Yes. So here on Corfu, they've learned to make almost everything from kumquat. For example, in China, I'm sure they don't make kumquat liqueur, but they make it here on Corfu. Kostas, tell us a bit about your products.
Kumquat is a great fruit, slightly bitter, yet many like it. It's perfect for salad. And it's really good in liqueurs and desserts. And we make sweet spoons, too.
Not bitter. Bitter, but more sweet than bitter. Kostas was offering me more and more sweet things, or bitter things. It's terrible. I've been nonstop eating since the time I came to this country. But the spirit of traveling has got me off on a new adventure, just like Odyssey. You know, I think I've got a Greek paradox. By the way, the word paradox is of Greek origin as well. So on the one hand, Greece is a destination for those who wish to show off their sun-drenched beach bodies, just like young Olympian gods. But once you get here, you just start to binge eat. Not ideal for that beach body. I've been trying to work it out, and this fertile land, food almost finds its way to your mouth. And it smells so good, it's simply mouth-watering. Out of all the plants here in Greece, I'd like to set this one aside. Greek oregano. It's the real taste of Greece. Why? Because they not only add it to Greek salad, they put it everywhere. You simply must give it a try. I'm not going to tear it off. I'm kind. You can distinguish this herb. Some would refer to it as a close relative to marjoram. Oregano is a Greek word, and it means brightness of the mountain. It blossoms in a truly beautiful way on the Greek hillsides. In fact, it's more than a culinary herb. It's more of a medicine. It's used to treat everything from pain like radiculitis to common cold or cough. The ancient Greek army medic Dioscorides, the father of pharmacology and botany, wrote about the value of oregano. I don't even know what to make of everything growing around me. A medicine box or a bouquet of garnish. And here is another herb.
Вот когда я нюхаю этот запах, знаете, сразу...
When I smell it, you know I'm salivating almost immediately. You can't smell it, but you can see it. You know it as rosemary, fresh, green, fragrant, and so indispensable for cooking meat. Simply because a steak without rosemary is not a steak. A barbecue without rosemary is not a barbecue. It's so fragrant here. In ancient heroic times, people here used to think the smell of rosemary improved their memory skills. Strange as that may seem, modern doctors have confirmed the ancient Greeks' theory.
Вот это...
This is the official flower. Well, there's a flower here as well. The plant most associated with Aphrodite. This flower was associated with the goddess of love because rosemary can be found on the shore in the sea's foam, in which Aphrodite was born, as Aphros means foam. As the legend goes, when she was born, they decorated her with rosemary flowers, and then she gave a branch of rosemary to her lovers, so that they would remember her. The name of this wonderful plant means sea dew in Latin. The Greeks called this plant the Lebanese tree. So they didn't consider it Greek, and for this reason, I can't call it a symbol of Greece.
А это миндаль. Вот, вот орешек.
And this is an almond. The nut is inside.
А вот, обратите
I've broken it in half.
олив,
Hmm.
красавец, кипарис.
Look here. Between the two olives, you can see this beautiful cypress tree, so slender, just like a beautiful young Greek man. I'm not having a sunstroke, don't worry. It's another myth about a man called Cyparissus, who accidentally killed his favorite deer while hunting. He grieved for his loss so much that he begged his friend, the god Apollo, to turn him into a tree so that he could grieve forever, with his branches reaching down to the ground. This way, this plant became a Greek symbol of mourning. Cypress is mostly used for decorative purposes, like building a cypress fence around your country house. Of course, more often than not, it's used as a beautiful decorative plant. It's really beautiful. Look. Pharmacology was born in Greece thanks to studying the properties of plants. It's not for nothing that the cypress has become a decorative plant. It's full of substances which protect the tree and kill various microbes and bacteria. The Greeks knew that and planted cypress trees where people were sick. To tell the truth, this magic tree didn't always help with survival. I guess the cypress is a good nomination for my short list of symbolic Greek plants. I could wander forever, stopping at each tree or plant, but I suddenly came across this tender violet. It's a Cephalonian violet, and it grows only here in Cephalonia and nowhere else. And it came to me that among the numerous trees brought here and herbs growing everywhere, there's unique flora. Yet it's been a difficult path, like it was for ancient Greek heroes.
Здесь, на этом прекрасном...
On this beautiful Greek island in the Ionian Sea, there is a wonderful place called Melisani Lake. Homer in the Iliad praised this amazing cave, this lake.
пещеру, это озеро.
One can't but admire this natural beauty.
Природной красоте.
Myths are all around here. The very island of Cephalonia is a myth in itself. Its name comes from the ancient hero Cephalus. According to the legend, after Cephalus had just got married, the rosy-fingered goddess of dawn, Io, said, "God, what a beautiful man," and stole the husband so they could have a son together. After serving that very purpose, Cephalus tried to reunite with his wife. However, a divine and malicious intervention from the gods saw him accidentally kill his wife. Distraught at the death of his beloved, he left to wander the world and conquered many, including the island which thereafter was named Cephalonia in his honor. The island is beautiful as the myth of Cephalus and just as changeable. By the way, here it is, the Cephalonian fir tree, the rarest conifer in Europe. It can be found only in this area, and just because of this fir tree, Mount Ionos has become a national park. In fact, the fir tree's unique properties brought it to the edge of extinction. It can only be found on one island, and even here it is limited to one mountain. Since the ancient times, it's been cut down for its strong and resilient trunks. I wouldn't call Greece the motherland of outstanding seafarers, yet they still more or less managed to navigate the nearby waters.
Древние греки, они сразу смекнули, что...
The ancient Greeks, they immediately realized that these trees can be useful.
Достаточно хорошо.
Look, first, it's quite tarred already, which makes it perfect for shipbuilding and seafaring.
И тут ты
And that led to mayhem. They began chopping wood, and they were merciless,
убили достаточно беспощадно.
till eventually the tree became protected by law, and rightly so.
Это дерево на законодательном уровне. И правильно делают.
The ancient Greeks used the same word for the fir tree, pine tree, and spruce. The question is how one can confuse them. But in those times, what mattered was functionality, resinous, with a straight trunk and needles. It's undoubtedly a pine tree. Yet if you want to distinguish the fir tree from the rest, the main thing is its cones. If the cone sits on the bough, it's a fir tree. If the cone hangs down from the bough, it's a spruce. Fir tree needles won't prick your fingers, by the way. Socrates, Aristotle, these Greek philosophers, scholars and thinkers stood at the origins of European civilization. Spent some time here at the origins of civilization as well. Well, I'd rather not call the rarest tree of the Ionian Islands the symbol of Greece, yet it came to my mind that when I was studying Skyros ponies, I met a person who loves every living thing in Greece, really loves and respects. And I decided to head back to Silvaland Riding Center. Back there, I came across this tree I just have to tell you about. I've seen this tree before once in India. Here it's really tall. Sylvia, could you tell me about this tree?
It's a fig. It's known as the Moreton Bay fig tree, and its scientific name is Ficus macrophylla.
It's a relative of the figs you might have on your windowsill at home, and sweet figs were one of the most cultivated plants in ancient times. According to the legend, a fig was a gift to us from the god Dionysus. Shall I give it a try? A small, shriveled fruit.
It's not ripe yet. There's still this milky juice. Take another one. An unripe fig is poisonous.
Ugh, poisonous? This fig tree is almost 1,500 years old. It's old, of course, but not old enough for its leaves to have been used as clothes long ago. Well, you remember the famous fig leaf. That's how it looks. You know, in fact, everyone could use it to cover their dignity, even those who flattered themselves. Maybe it is the fig tree that is the symbol of Greece. I'm looking for living symbols of Greece, animals, plants.
As for trees, it's definitely the olive tree. Yes, olive trees are all around here.
Sure, one thing is for certain, olive trees have always been here. 6,000 years ago, they started planting olive groves here in Greece and producing oil. It was the basis of the Hellenic economy. As a result of the Greek military campaigns, olive trees spread across Europe. For every Greek person, there were 12 olive trees, and harvest time means more than even the peak of the tourist season. And now that harvest has long passed, and I can try and get myself invited along to an olive grove.
In fact, we're inside a living monument. We are surrounded by 600 to 700-year-old trees. If Greece suddenly goes bankrupt for some reason, 3 things will save it: vineyards, ships, and olive groves. With their help, they will be able to restore everything. The olive tree is sacred.
One of the main ancient Greek myths is about an olive tree. This tree is a gift from Athena, the goddess of wisdom. Once she entered a competition with Poseidon to become the patron for the most beautiful town in Hellas. The god of the seas created a useless salty well, while the wise goddess created a sacred olive tree. As a result, the country's capital was named Athens after her.
Winners in the first Olympic Games were awarded olive garlands, and it remains the symbol of the Olympics.
It's truly the pride of a nation. Spyros was ready to tell me the story of each one of his 7,000 olives in his family garden.
We pick every olive from the ground manually. My grandfather used to tell me, "Spiros, I've touched every centimeter of our land by hand, picking olives."
Though it's not olive oil pressing season now, Spyros showed me around his production facilities. Have you ever thought that professionals who taste oil do it with the same passion as wine tasters? Well, first, in fact,
No, not that way. We'll do everything according to the rules of tasting olive oil. First, we're going to use glasses like these.
this sacred act really looks like some sort of olive cult. Spyros' eyes were blazing with fire. I was afraid of making a wrong move. So getting groceries next time, you can carry out this simple test. It will help you find quality products to buy. Infected with enthusiasm is a Greek phrase. And I can really feel this aroma of cut grass and sun-kissed fertile soil. It really is the soul of Greece and its people. I can taste pepper.
Aha, you must keep in mind that it's one of the most aggressive, bitter, and acrid olive oils. The more bitter it is, the better the olive oil.
To health.
Yamas!
It has been phenomenal, which literally means an outstanding trip in Greek. I've totally immersed myself in this country where every event is bright and every taste is rich. Moreover, there are Greek-made myths about everything around them, as if their centuries-long history was not enough. And throughout this long, hard, and interesting journey, the Greeks have always been surrounded by these olive trees, resilient and unpretentious. Behind my back, you can see a 13th century fortress, but still this olive tree is older. Can you imagine how much it has seen during its long life? I have no doubt when we say Greece, we mean an olive tree. And when we say an olive tree, we mean Greece. This tree has been intertwined with Greek people throughout their lives, from birth till death. The poor apply oil to their newborn's tender skin. The Orthodox Greeks perform the last sacrament with the sacred olive tree's gift, oil. And people here adore everything they depend on. The olive tree remains the pride and soul of the Greek people. Nothing has changed since Homer, and olive oil is still their living liquid gold. That's why the absolute winner for the living symbol of Greece, which doesn't need an olive garland to announce its victory, is the olive tree.